YouTube, how's it going? The GOAT House is back. Today I got my tight end prospect rankings for the NFL draft, going through my top 10 scouting reports and superlatives as well. Did this for quarterbacks, running backs, receivers. We're going to get through every position group. We're going to get to a big board, updated mocks here. We'll have reactions, grades throughout each day of the NFL draft, and after the draft, we'll rank every team's draft class. So a lot of content on the way. Make sure you join us, like, subscribe, turn notifications on, follow our Twitter. Fan voted mock draft going on there. A lot of live updates. Always talking with you guys, so make sure you check out that Twitter link down below. Real quick, start with the superlatives. Day one impact, I think Trey McBride, how complete he is, how he can play mainly in line, but can move him around a bit. But looking at blocking ability, pass catching ability, and he's already had the production to kind of transfer over and transition over into the NFL. Most upside's got to be Jelani Woods from Virginia. I just don't see guys like that every day. Freakish size, athleticism, very unique tight end, and as upside as a pass catcher and as a blocker as well. Best hands going to go with Charlie Kolar from Iowa State. Seems to come up big with his hands in crucial situations, third downs, in the end zone, contested catch situations. Best blocker, I'm going to go Cade Otton. Could have went with Jeremy Ruckert as well, but Otton from Washington, so we go with. Best receiver, Greg Dulcich. Kind of giving me Mark Andrews vibes, getting downfield, open downfield, catching the ball. It's a little bit smaller than Mark Andrews. And then after the catch, going to go Jelani Woods. He's a tank after the catch. He's a big dude, tough to bring down. Best inline tight end, Trey McBride. Best slot would be Greg Dulcich. Most underrated, I'm going to go Jeremy Ruckert. I think people look at his stats at Ohio State and Ohio State they threw the ball like crazy. All these guys have crazy stats, and then Ruckert doesn't, but it's more of a... didn't feature the tight end, 11 personnel, so he's in line, mainly use him for blocking and just to throw defenses off there. So I think he has some more upside in a more of a pro-style type offense. So he was kind of up for the most upside, but Woods can't go against him. Sleeper going to go Cole Turner from Nevada. Big body, very good contested catcher. Doesn't have much blocking upside, but just a freaky dude in terms of his ball skills, really catching the ball there. So those are superlatives. Let's go on to the rankings. And pretty much with this, I said, F it. We're putting Jelani Woods at 1, and I really wasn't on the Jelani Woods hype train. I'm a little late to the hype train for Woods here. And because, he was crazy at the combine. Impressive. A guy that big, moving that fast. Can't base everything off the combine. I'm kind of remembering some games I saw live with Woods, and I did it match the combine? That's what I'm thinking. Did have some drops in live games I saw. So you do, and I still do, view him as a risk because of those negatives, but I watched the tape very recently, and that's a big reason I'm higher on him now, because it's just, and then kind of going into it, putting that athleticism that does actually show up, and the mismatch issue that he is, and the ability to play, see him line up outside, in the slot, in line, the ability to block, use his length to block, and use his strength as well. I think he's looking more. He already looked to be in great shape. I think he looks like he's in more. I think he looks like he's in better shape now, seeing him at the combine, things like that. So that's fantastic when looking at a potential upside guy who's kind of already showing it before hitting the field. So I love that. Big thing, though, on why I ended up going with him number 1. Just being a unique tight end prospect. We look at these tight end classes each year. They're pretty underwhelming. Sometimes you got these unique, rare skill set guys like Kyle Pitts. I'm not comparing Woods to Pitts, but I'm saying is that unique type guy that you have to take early. Then you kind of got these guys that, they're pro type size. They're pretty balanced. They can block. They can catch. They don't do anything unique. Those guys don't really work out, or they become average. Looking at the best tight ends in football, Travis Kelce, the footwork and route running ability, the toughness after the catch, the athletic ability with that size combination, just unheard of, rare, very smart tight end. You look at, we could talk about Kyle Pitts as well. Just receiver-like, freaky length, hands. You look at George Kittle. I think he's balanced across the board, but he brings the insane physicality, that nobody else brings. Look at Mark Andrews, that athletic, separating tight end with incredible ball skills. These guys are the best in football because they're unique. They're high end in certain categories. So that's why I went. That's a big reason I went Jelani Woods. 1, the upside, the rare. Not even rare. We don't even see this type of guy, right? Just so unique. And there's some teams that I would like a contender to get their hands on him. A team that doesn't need that much and like, hey, we don't need really anything right now. We don't have that. We don't got that. We can get unique with that. We can get creative with that. So that's why I'm a big Woods guy right now for all those reasons. But fun tape. I mean, the moments after the catch and some better footwork than I thought as well. And he played a variety of spots more than I thought. But after the catch, there's times where, he's going to truck a guy. He's just going to carry guys just because of his big body. And there's times where he catches the ball in traffic and he doesn't even know it. Like, he doesn't know he's about to get hit, and the guy bounces off of him. It's ridiculous. So I'm going Woods 1. I'm hopping on that train and some there. Yeah, the negatives, he does have some bad drops. You don't love that. I think about 5 drops, nothing crazy. And even on some catches, he's kind of bobbled the ball. He's kind of made some, they kind of look like crazy catches because, he lost the ball at times, but really you don't want him to bobble the ball. Tight ends, you want to grab, go, because they got those big hands, right? So I do worry about that a little bit. Hopefully he can clean that up, but I think he's just scratching the surface here. Does lose his balance. I mean, controlling his big body sometimes, you kind of know that he has that big body. It sometimes is a little hard to control, but he's still got some work to do. But I'm excited about a guy like this. So I'm going to put him at 1 just because he's that unique. He has that unique skill set and traits here. Number 2, definitely the safest pick out of all the tight ends with Trey McBride, which very close to having him at 1. But again, for the unique ability and traits that Woods has. But McBride, again, day 1 ready, safe pick. I like that he's the most complete guy in the draft. I'm more of a fan of the guys that first they play in line, which is on the line, obviously, that can block, and then some very good upside as a pass catcher comes next, because some teams will just write off. We've seen some pretty unique pass catchers over the past years that just can't really make it in the NFL because they can't really figure it out other than that. But, he's pretty complete. Should be a sure thing. Not to be great, obviously, but to be productive, to be useful for a team. I do think he has some upside kind of moving around other than in line as well, but he's an inline tight end first. He's very physical. Yeah, he looks to – he doesn't have crazy after-the-catch moments. Like, he's not going to break a bunch of tackles or make, juke people out of their jock straps, anything like that. But he'll take on the hits. He'll deliver the hits. He's pretty physical. Around the end zone, he'll get a little bit more physical as well. Extremely productive, yardage-wise, just always getting open. Wasn't that productive in the red zone. I think that was more a Colorado State thing. But he's very productive, over 1,000 yards. You love to see that. Does everything well, but does anything really stand out, like unique, like high-end? Not really. Does everything very well, though, but I do want to see the unique tight ends because those are the guys that are working out. There are mismatch problems, but he is a safe pick. He's very balanced. He has pretty much everything to his game. Doesn't have that prototype size, I guess. When you watch him play, you feel like he's bigger. But yeah, 6'3", wish he was a little longer, and did have several penalties, holding penalties, so I do kind of worry about that a little bit at the NFL because they seem to call it a little bit more. Not really recently. They're trying to protect the quarterback a little bit more. Number 3, I'm going to go Greg Dulcich, who is, I think, the best pass-catching tight end in the class. Very good route runner, very quick. Good after the catch, kind of using his vision, speed, quickness, his athletic ability in general. Just very good catching the ball. So you look at, kind of gives you Mark Andrews vibes. Mark Andrews is definitely going to be more physical, going to be a bit bigger frame, obviously. There's not too many Mark Andrews out there the way he's succeeding in the NFL and the style of play that he has, and he fits so well in the Ravens offense that it's tough to say Dulcich will become that, but he's such a good receiver in a way like Andrews, and it can be a potential mismatch because sometimes these tight ends teams want to use as a mismatch. But are they really? Like, you put him in the slot, you got this big body guy that can run and that can catch. At this point, speed's taken over. Maybe they just want a slot receiver, right? But Dulcich has that like receiver ability in him, so I think he would actually work out as an actual mismatch in certain situations. Definitely needs to improve as a blocker if he wants to be. He might be limited because of that. Can he play in line? Can he block? So how many snaps will he actually get? I guess that's kind of a question with him, but again, such a good receiver. Frame is definitely on the smaller size, could use a little bit more bulk to him. Not the end of the world there. Number 4, I'm going to go Jeremy Ruckert, another upside guy here. I like his build. I like his size, 6'5", 252. Solid physical blocker. He wants to block, kind of a mean blocker at times. Kind of maybe gets a little too crazy at times, and he'll kind of lunge forward a little bit too much. But most time, very good blocker. Got some good reps as an inline tight end. I like that, having that. You don't want to bring a guy in and have to teach that, right? I think he has a lot of upside as a pass catcher. You look at Ohio State's offense, kind of a spread offense, just mainly focused on the receivers because they got so many good ones. I mean, the guys in this draft sat out for that final Rose Bowl game, and the next guys up just went crazy. They got so many good receivers. They got a great quarterback over there. They're mainly just using the tight end to block, to play in line. So if he was on a team that would actually value him as a receiver more, it's a little risky saying that because he could, some team could value him that way, and he's not that great. But I see some upside there, just if he's given the chance. I think he could fit several teams, too, because I don't think he's just a blocking tight end, even though that's what it looks like. I think teams will see the upside as a pass catcher, and they'll think, I think most teams are like, all right, he fits us, But limited reps as a pass catcher, so you don't love that, so a little bit of a risk there. And then he's pretty raw as a route runner, but it's just because he just needs more reps, really. He did get injured at the Senior Bowl, a foot injury, which you don't love to see, because then we can't see him do all these go through the pre-draft process, getting injured that easily at just kind of a workout, practice type thing. So that's, you don't love that, but it's nothing concerning long term. And then number 5, we're going to go Charlie Kolar from Iowa State, big body tight end. Again, I think I talked about a little bit ago that he kind of pops up in some impact, crucial situations, third downs, moving the chains, Purdy would kind of just look for Kolar, in those situations when we go look for my guy in the end zone, big-time target, go up and catch the ball, can body cornerbacks, box them out in a way, pretty good hands, in good moments too. So that's something that stands out big time. But you like the build, you like the hands, you like the size, you like the ability to be a serious red zone threat. Definitely needs to improve as a blocker, though. You wish kind of these big-body guys, they would be good blockers, right? But kind of lacking that. Could be the best tight end in the class if he had that blocking ability to match his size. Doesn't really win athletically. Some other guys that are just going to win sometimes with athleticism become more of that mismatch because they have that power plus the athleticism. Kolar's kind of got that power, the hands, the contested catch ability. And notice a lot, like coming out of his breaks, he would kind of push off the DB, and maybe not enough to call it, so I'm not really saying he's going to get called. But I don't really love that because you're not as quick, instead of reaching out and pushing, I want you to be able to come out of your breaks a little bit quicker in the NFL because quarterback's going through his reads quicker. You want to get the ball out quicker. So I don't love that either. He's at number 5. And then the next 5 here to round it out, Cade, Otton, I got at 6. And you do love the balance, like he can block, he could catch, he can run routes, pretty smooth route runner. So you do like that. There's just nothing special, nothing unique. I'm looking for the unique tight ends. Like he does everything, but doesn't really do anything at a high level, really. Not super explosive, not going to beat anyone after the catch, really. So that's kind of the thing with him. Could be kind of a safer pick. You know what you're going to get. Isaiah Likely from Coastal Carolina. Big play tight end, kind of vertically. He has that deep threat ability in him, pretty good hands, very quick. I like the routes. Some double move routes. It kind of gives me receiver vibes with his hands, his movement. Combine, I don't think he was super quick, super fast as 40, but he looks a lot faster than on tape, which is more important. Just gives me a receiver vibes. And at the same time, he has some snaps playing in line too, so that's something you really, really like wow. But then I kind of watch him. It's like, I think in the NFL, maybe he could just maybe he's just a slot receiver, and maybe you just rather have a slot receiver. So that's kind of my worry there because he kind of feels like a receiver to me. Definitely needs to improve as a blocker. It does kind of give me Gerald Everett vibes at times. Kind of feels like an Everett-type player, just the way he plays. I think there is a drop-off after that. Jake Ferguson at 8, who could have some upside kind of getting out of that Wisconsin system, maybe a better passing game. Pretty balanced tight end, willing blocker, solid hands. Yeah, he's got some ball skills. Doesn't have the ideal traits. Like, he's not the biggest dude, so you wish he was the most athletic dude, but he's not that either. There was much more athletic guys here testing-wise, so there's really nothing traits-wise that pops out there. Daniel Bellinger is a little bit under the radar for a top 10 guy from San Diego State. Very athletic, can block, flashy moments, like can catch, contested catch. Kind of has that. He's got some ball skills as well, just flashy moments as a catcher. So kind of across the board, he kind of has the traits besides the size. Not that he's really lacking size. He just doesn't have that, wow size. But he has the ideal traits besides the build pretty much across the board. Athletically, he can block, he can catch. Pretty smooth with his routes. I said he can block. He's pretty good at blocking too. So, but just very, very limited in production. Try to figure out why. Was it a San Diego State thing? Throughout his whole career too. So that could be, it's kind of a mystery. Why throughout every step of the way throughout his career. But it's an upside guy. It's another big upside guy. Then Chigo Okonkwo from Maryland. Kind of that utility gadget type tight end. Some Jonnu Smith vibes. Poor man's Jonnu Smith. Very great, very good athletes. Very, very fast, quick. More quick than fast, but both. Just has that big playability. A lot of end arounds, even end arounds. Dump it off to him. Let him go to work. Look like a running back. I should give him the ball on the end around. I'm like, there's a running back running out there. He kind of looks like that, and he is kind of built like a big running back. And that's kind of the negative. He really is lacking the ideal size. He's about 6'2". He's built more like a big running back, kind of limited to scheme plays. We use him here and there. Definitely not going to get a lot of snaps, so that's kind of the issue there. But there's a lot to like. There's a lot of wow moments on tape for sure. So that's my top 10 tight ends. Kind of just going, I'm kind of looking for the unique, like guys that stand out, guys that have upsides. Kind of what I was looking for with this tight end group, because based off the last few years, like those are several years, those are the guys that are kind of working out, and the other guys that are kind of balanced. They're complete, they're good, but where's the ceiling at? So that's kind of what I was going with the tight ends. Next video will be offensive linemen, and then on to the defensive side of things there. And we'll have updated mock drafts. We have a big board. I have other videos I like to do too. We're really getting it down to the wire though. It's right around the corner, less than 2 weeks away here for the NFL draft, but I'm getting excited. Hopefully you guys join us for all that content before, during, and after the draft. Make sure you follow our Twitter as well. It's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.